Hi guys. How's it going? The only thing that I keep thinking about is that I'm all really glad that we're here, and I'm extra happy that we have an added friend. We brought Fong along to talk to us with us about the amazing end of House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. And Fong, I'm really glad you're here because friends don't let friends finish this book alone, is what I've realized.
We're here to provide emotional support.
Yeah, well, Elena, you read this book a long time ago and we weren't around, and I'm sorry for your past trauma, but we're all here now. We're all here now. So,
I
yeah, no, what? Go ahead,
I'm
Jamie.
gonna say I'm thankful Fong wasn't here to experience Elena's emotional damage and
Are we
manipulation.
just jumping right into just talking about Elena's emotional trauma that she's caused all of us to go through the past like month? Yeah. We're done. I'm just gonna say up front. I need to say up front that if any of you have been reading this with us, thank you. And we're here to now provide emotional support for the end of this book, which was a lot. And I also have to say that if for some reason you started with Crescent City and you've only read these two books out of Sarah J. Maas's plethora of novels, that there will be a part of this episode at the end that we'll warn y'all about, but we're gonna have to stop with our no spoilers promise, and we're gonna have to talk about other Sarah J. Maas books, which could have been apparent to you if you finished this book, may not be apparent to you if you didn't finish this book. I'm just gonna say, go read the Akatar series if you got to the end and were confused. But yeah, we'll warn you before we talk about other books, and we'll just start with our thoughts on this guy. But yeah, Elena is emotionally manipulative and owes me at least 3 desserts now.
Oh, 3 now. What's
At
the third one?
least 3.
Just cookies. I'm gonna make cookies next time.
There
I
better be
see you.
cookies.
Yeah, I guess I owe you an apology for lying a lot.
Which
Um,
we can't go into too much detail about. I mean, I definitely have done my fair share of screaming about how there's crossover in like a very surface level way. So we still can't go into why there's crossover, but spoiler alert, guys, there's crossover if you haven't read the other books. So Elena is a big liar.
I mean, and that's not the only thing I lied about either. Like, I definitely lied about that. I also lied to you a lot about who Day was last week. So I'm sorry about that as well. Just in general, you had really good theories and immediately always guessed what was going on. And I couldn't just like let you have it like that. So I just had to say no.
It's too easy. It's too easy. I get it. I get it. You made me second guess myself. I'm still recovering from the gaslighting, and I'll be fine eventually.
Okay, so some of it was gaslighting, but some of it was true. Like last episode, I was like, Hunt and Bryce aren't together at the end of this book. True.
Correct. That was true. You were correct about that.
Mm-hmm. We just Someone didn't want to
dies.
believe it.
Also true. They're still together though, just not physically, which I think was my exact guess from the last episode. Although I thought Bryce was gonna like end up in the dungeon at the end, and everybody else was gonna somehow get away. But
No, everyone else is in the dungeon.
Oh, backwards. Oops.
So yeah, sorry for previously lying a lot, and I won't do it again until what do I have? Now I've read all the books that you've read.
That doesn't check out. You know you read faster than me. At some point I'm going to be like, I'm on chapter 6, and you're going to be like, ooh, chapter 6.
Okay, I'll at least lie on smaller scales from now on.
Okay, all right.
Until we read another book that Elena has already read and the cycle could continue. But even still, I can't imagine reading another book series and having as big of a reveal that like I need to hide. And I also thought I gave away like some of the end of this book very early on when you guys initially brought up crossover, and I fell behind my desk and covered my camera.
That's what that was.
I remember at least one time where you actually hit the deck. I forget what we were talking about, but
Yeah,
we could go back and find out.
Like very active descriptions of crossover, and I hadn't like gotten used to you bringing up I think it was one of the first times you brought up crossover, and I wasn't expecting you to catch on that fast because as I like told you guys separately, like I didn't catch on to crossover until we were in the last chapter of this book, and like very clear like unquestionable crossover occurred.
Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna go into more detail about this, but are you, and we actually haven't discussed this, are you saying that when you read the end scene of the first Crescent City book and Bryce may have found 2 books from other worlds that we know about, did it just like went right over, didn't even notice it, or like you were like, haha, that's funny, and then just kept going?
Didn't even check, didn't even cross my mind at all. And without
sorry.
Yeah, what?
No, I was gonna say like I noticed the book titles, but I didn't think that it would be like this extreme. That something like this could happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that was just a book. That was an animal object, not a person.
Yeah, it could have just been another copy of very important books from other worlds. For sure, for sure. But yeah.
It's a coincidence, little Easter egg.
No, I was just curious. Because yeah, Elena, it's I think it's interesting that like, you know, you read it so long ago for the first time when it first came out. So just like to hear about some of the things that you've reread already after we've read this have been interesting. But yeah.
And link me back to where these 2 books were in the first book.
So
I'm like, what?
There's a scene that
missed it.
I did a lot of freaking out about in an episode, for sure. Where at the end of the first Crescent City book, when Bryce is like army crawling it out of the antiquities dealer, the shop, and Micah is locked in the bathroom, she notices 3 titles on the bottom shelf that she like goes by, and one of them is totally innocuous, but the other 2 have been in other books that are not Crescent City that Sarah has written. So via text, I have notes and can tell you what chapter it's in. But yeah, so via text to these 2, since we were reading it together, I think it was a lot of holy shit, why is the Book of Breathings and The Walking Dead both on this bookshelf? Which I think a lot of you know that we, Jamie and Elena and I, are in the middle of the Throne of Glass series because we've got those episodes posting as well. And Fong has not started it yet, so we will not be talking about anything Throne of Glass for sure. But we might be talking about some ACOTAR stuff a little bit, so if you haven't read those books again, we'll warn you before we start talking about that. But yeah, I was just curious, Elena, because I know you had read ACOTAR before you had read this, so I wasn't sure if those had...
Oh, I read ACOTAR right before I read this. Like, I was literally, like, dying. I didn't have anything to read. I felt a void in my life, so I immediately jumped into Crescent City.
Yeah.
You mean you finished, like, Silver Flames, and then you jumped to Crescent City? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that it's something that I think we've talked about separately because, again, like we can't go too heavy into the crossover details. Know that there's crossover. You've made it. You know, you need to just go read the other books to understand it now. But what I love is that Sarah is really good at putting in the crossover lines and hints and clues in like either scenes of extreme emotional distress or like all of our favorite romance scenes. So you're very distracted by things like Micah about to kill our main character, and you don't notice the little bits that she leaves there as clues for everybody. But yeah, Elena, I know you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you want to torture us by asking, so I don't want to
It's
delay
not
it any longer.
torture. I don't think we're torturing anymore. Like now we're all on the same playing field in terms of what we know. So
Right, you
all
promised you'd stop
hypotheses are
lying.
open.
So
What is there to lie about?
we'll see.
Yeah, so I think the biggest, not the biggest, I feel like a lot of big things happen in this section, hence why we chose such a small section to read for the last bit. But one of the things I definitely actively lied to you about was who Day is and whether or not we find out. Because I think my direct quote was, "We don't even find out in this book."
Yeah, I was devastated.
That
I
was
knew
a
who it
blatant
was.
lie.
Yeah, I was confident I knew who it was at that point, but I was like, if they do not have a scene where they look each other in the eyes, I'll be so sad.
Yeah. So they had a scene where they looked each other in the eyes. How was that?
It was torture. But I loved it.
I'm glad it was revealed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a little heartbroken, but still understandable about the way Rune reacted.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know because I put all my chips on the table in the last episode and said that I knew it was Lydia and that I'd gone through all the stages of grief and I was already on the train, like 100% love it, total sip. How do you guys feel about the two of them?
I want more.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with them.
Fong, are you a day-night fan?
I am very much a day night fan. I think my takeaways from like just their relationship is like I feel like Rune, of course Rune is Rune and he leaves all his emotions and feelings on the table. He says it how it is, but she's much better about being who she needs to be in the moment and who she can be with Rune.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
A day night fan
definitely,
for sure.
yeah, she's definitely more guarded for sure. But then like Rune is also very guarded at the end and blocks her
Yeah,
out of
it's
his
like
mind.
they did a
That was
role
really sad.
reversal. Yeah. It's like she can be her true self with him when they're in the mind bridge. And then in real life, it's like they switched.
I
Yeah,
think
so
him needing space makes sense though. And I
Yeah.
feel like that would hopefully be one of, like, out of everything that happened in this section, I think this is one of the few things that could be addressed pretty quickly, like could be resolved in a relatively quick manner with like one mind bridge conversation. They don't even need to be together in person to like sort it out.
I hope I hope it doesn't take until like the winter solstice, sorry. For
more
them to
winter solstice
resolve.
packs.
Yeah. Which
Mm,
I don't think it has happened. Like it
I was,
hasn't passed, right? In
yeah.
HOSAB?
I just realized that. Oh my god, can you guys
Yeah.
imagine if Bryson Hunt had waited until winter solstice? I think I'd be dead right now.
Yeah.
If they had still waited until winter solstice, Hunt would 100% be dead by now. Like,
That's fair.
Brooke
Yeah.
and Fong would be dead right now.
Yeah,
If they had
this would be a tombstone.
So long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um yeah, I love Rune and Lydia. I think that they will also make it work. I think that just plot wise, like of course they need a moment. Like especially Rune needs a moment because Lydia has had longer to realize who he is and everything. So we just need to give our boy some space.
Yeah.
I'm
I think
super
he was
excited. Oh,
sorry. I was gonna say that I think he really was being truthful when he said when they were talking about bringing like that the harpy could be um Agent Day, and I think he was being truthful when he said it would be an adjustment if it
Yeah.
was her.
Yeah. If he could wrap his brain around being with the harpy, he can wrap his brain around being with Lydia. Like that's it's an
Yeah.
easy.
I'm really excited to find out about Lydia's background and how she ended up in the tree in the first place.
Yeah.
She's like one of the few that isn't an angel.
Yeah, and I wonder like who her dad is. I don't know if he's still alive. I only guessed that because like it made it seem like in her bedtime story that maybe she killed him, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just like throwing this. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing this out there.
It's hard to tell like how much she was drawing off of real life when she was telling that bedtime story to Rune.
Right. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
in the bedtime story, the princess was also a witch, but
Mhm.
Lydia isn't. And then she could shift into a bunch of other animals.
I think that, like, I mean, is it fair to say that Lydia is a witch, even though she doesn't have like witch powers that we know of, at least? Like, I mean, she's
Yeah.
still like one of her parents was the queen of the witches, so like, I think she still counts. I think it's just one of those awkward things where she's not really part of either world, kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe like maybe she does have witch powers, but they haven't been awakened yet. I don't know.
Or she's somehow been keeping them secret, like Bryce kept the Starborn power stuff secret for as long as she
True.
did.
Possible.
Yeah. She's got mind bridge powers. Like, that seems kind of extra. Like, I don't think that's just Rune. I mean, I think it's their mating bond, but I think it's also some powers. Sorry, did I say mating bond again, Jamie? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Fong, if you don't know, I'm kind of like tired of all this like mating talk.
Jamie's mated out, and I am here
Why?
for all of it.
Mated out.
Why? Why are you so tired out?
It's
Yeah,
just like
Jamie.
they're always theorizing about like every couple mating bond.
Their scents were
Throwing it
mixed.
left and right.
Jamie, their scents were mixed.
It's just sex.
It's literally sex in this case.
No. Wait, Fong, back me up on this. Are Rune and Lydia mated already?
He called her his mate.
What?
Rune and Lydia?
He calls her his mate.
I think you're talking about Bryce and Hunt.
That's Bryce and Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Fong did the audiobook, by the way. Like for the whole
this
book.
was read like 95. No, 95.
Fong hasn't been picking apart every single word like I have. Is that what you're saying, Jamie? Like reading, rereading, taking notes, analyzing, chatting, and then coming up with theories.
But going back to this mating conversation, I feel like it's really clear when the writing or when the story is told like someone like that playing, not serious. So I feel like it's fair to say that how extensive their relationship is. Feels like mates to me.
Their sense mix. That's all I needed to know at the end.
And they could talk to each other in their mind.
Yeah.
I need to know like more of like an invisible thread that just ties them together, tugs. I need like that clear of a mating bond.
He said
Yeah.
that he's even though he's so mad at her and so upset of like her history and her background and how much blood is on her hands, like he still feels strongly about her in the protective sense, like when they were going through like the last few scenes. That feels like mates to me. Like I mean, I love you, but I'm mad at you for what you've done.
There is that note about him being weirdly protective about her.
Yeah,
which
and
is kind
a
of
little possessive too. Like that's my
Yeah.
scent. That's my scent on her.
I think we get the gold
how
thread
cool is
later.
that?
Gold thread comes later.
But how cool is that? Like they mated right in the mind bridge, and somehow that still moved over to like real life.
Yes. Right. You just proved my point, Jamie. Their scents didn't mix just because of sex, because they only had sex in their minds. They're mated. They're mated. Boom. Done. Mic drop.
Okay.
Next conversation. What else you got for us, Lily?
Why do you say it like that?
Thank you, Jamie, for proving yourself wrong.
You're welcome. I can admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them in the next book. I am super stoked.
other things that happened that I know we also have disagreements on in the group. I don't know how Fong feels yet, so we might have to pull her in for the tiebreaker. Is Cormac really dead?
Oh.
Let's hear Fong's thoughts first.
Yeah.
So, as someone who's listened to most of the book, I think I shared this with Jamie, but Cormac has a Scottish accent in the audiobook.
You passed that information on, which made me
I
happy.
did.
Yeah. So it's very distinctive when they're talking about him or when he speaks. I feel like I never had to. I think he's dead. As devastating as it is with his background and what he could provide for the storyline, I think he's dead.
Were you sad about the death?
Poor Elena, time after time, and we can't go into times where this has also happened, but she gets so sad about character deaths, and then we just stomp all over her feelings.
More
did
sad at the
say-
last scene where Bryce,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
where Bryce, and the moment where Bryce and Hunt were holding hands and they weren't sure if this, they were like, this is gonna be the last time. I like dropped a tear versus when Cormac died. I was just like, next page.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
interesting how we all had different reactions to Cormac dying and to that scene. I didn't cry for Cormac. I was a little upset that Hunt was like, this is the last time we're gonna hold hands. Like, that was heartbreaking. But I knew that it wasn't going to be the last time. Because I knew in my heart that they were going their end game, they'll be back together. They'll find a way. He even said it, like, he'll find a way to be together, for them to be together again. Like that, I was sad about that, but I didn't cry. Sorry.
Whatever.
I love that you have hope that they'll find each other, because I feel like when characters in the storyline say that, I'll find you again, we'll meet again, I feel like devastatingly, I'm like, will you actually? I don't know.
Haven't you watched Once Upon a Time?
No.
They always find each other. I
Um,
believe
do.
in that.
I also was getting very emotional when Hunt was saying that, because Elena had insinuated some things about character deaths, and I was very nervous and on guard and had my tissues ready. They were never needed, except for the moment at the end, which we can't go into, but not over character death. But yeah, I fully believe that Hunt and Brace are fine and that they will get back together and it'll be okay. So I'm like not sad about where that ended. Elena, do you have something you'd like to share?
We have hope.
I don't like how we're just glossing over Cormac's death because I was really sad.
Okay.
Elena,
Okay.
speak
What makes
speak
you
your
so
feelings.
sad?
Yes.
Tell us.
I just didn't expect him to die, and I like came around to really liking him, and it was just sad.
Elena,
Did you
eulogize
agree with
Cormac.
Character resonates so much with you.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I like him, and then it made. So the reason this came up is because Brooke, you brought up the theory that he might not really be dead at one point, which always gives me hope, and then they're always really dead.
Okay, so Fong probably doesn't know this yet, and we can't talk about all of them. But I do have a problem, and I've said this to Elena and Jamie, that I'm coming to realize that it may just be Sarah's style of writing, where she has a lot of character deaths happen in an offstage manner, which to me is usually always done on purpose in order to leave it open-ended. Like, are they still dead? So I currently have two very big characters that I think aren't dead in Sarah J. Maas books. And I don't want to have a third because it's exhausting to keep trying to figure out, are they alive or are they not? So I said to Elena, I don't know if Cormac's dead. Huh?
Who are the two characters? Is Cormac one of them?
No, we can only talk about one of them. But
And what's the one?
I still think Lehaba is alive somewhere.
Lahaba.
Yeah.
What do you
There's
think,
no
Fong?
body.
I would love it. She's alive. I cried so much.
I
That's
did
the scene I
too.
cried.
Yes,
Elena.
same.
That's where I cried.
I got super, super teary in that moment. I didn't like lose my shit. But then when it was clear she didn't die, I was like, well, I'm fine. She's not dead.
I think
But
there's
you're
only-
just you're an experienced reader. So I'm sure you've come across this a lot where there are off-screen deaths and they what are you pointing at? What is that?
just some other books that may have trained me for these series.
Yeah, right?
They've been here the whole time. Yeah, I think my thing is just like I was saying, so, and I think we should probably talk about this in detail, but like the Harpy's death, beautiful. Like, yes, kill her right in front of me, sever her head, give me no option to think that that bitch is coming back. Thank you. But
Yeah,
like,
I love that she had no idea that she was a double agent.
yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
But Cormac, it just seemed very suspicious to me that we don't get that moment where like we really see him sacrifice himself. Like it insinuates that he does when he's telling Therian to run, and we see him turn into a fireball, which is what Elena keeps pointing out. But the thing that I'm not sure of is, would that actually kill him, or is the fireball thing part of his power? So I'm not totally sure, but I said to Elena, I actually hope he's dead because I want fewer characters that I have to wonder if they're going to come up again.
No, it seemed like he combusted and like
Yeah.
destroyed everything.
I hope so too, and something that I wanted to mention is that as that scene is going on, the other 5 Asteri, other than Regulus, show up before the bomb goes off, before Cormac bomb goes off.
That was so sus
Are they
to
dead?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we don't know who they are. I mean, we got their name. We finally get some of their names, right? But we have no idea what they look like.
Yeah.
Or
Their
maybe
names on
one
their
of them
iPod
spoke.
chargers.
But I don't know. There's like I don't know. It didn't seem definite to me that they're gone.
Yeah. Well,
It just seemed too
that's
easy too.
that's why I still have just that thought in the back of my mind, that I was like, we don't see what actually happens at the end.
You can't kill a hologram with an explosion.
Well, we know they're not holograms now. They're iPods, Elena. They're iPods to be charged.
Are they iPods or iPhones?
I keep going back and forth. It just
I know.
depends. They're like cute little things you gotta plug in.
Cute?
They're
Cute is not the
allowed.
word.
Super adorable.
They're allowed to leave their charging pods.
Yeah. I just loved how it had a percentage of charge on it. I was like, so does my
Yeah,
phone.
What was with that?
56% charge. Like, oh boy.
Who's on low
Not
battery
in
mode
advance.
right now?
Yeah. Yeah, you
So,
need a
do we
snack.
think the Asteri are living beings? Like, do we think
Yes.
they're
Who
like
lived for a
alive?
really long time?
Yeah.
Because I kind of think of them as robots. Like, I still think there's a chance that they were created and like programmed and are like super AI.
I don't know.
I
It just
guess-
seems like they definitely have a start. They don't have like it seems like they don't have any like children or offsprings or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think they have offspring. They don't really remember where they came from. Like, they don't have a memory that far back. And like the percentages is weird if
Yeah.
they are like people. I don't know. Like, they do give off machine vibes, which makes me think there's a possibility they were created by someone else.
Like
Or a
the green wizard that I was theorizing last time from Wizard of Oz.
Pay no attention to the men behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a really good point, Elena, because as much as I've been joking about like them being plugged in, like they do have like weird first light charging ports, and it doesn't really go into detail about how the first light gets inside them to charge them. So yeah, they could be like AI android type things, but then I think we get into the whole like, what does life mean? And I think that for all intents and purposes, like no matter how they upload the first light to keep themselves running, like they are like sentient beings. Like it seems like they do make decisions themselves and have personalities and whatnot.
Yeah, they're definitely sentient. I think it's just a question of if they were born or if they were made. Because if they were made, I think even if they get rid of them, there's going to be a bigger plot line of like who created them in the first place for what purpose. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
that's why
They're made from the stars or something like, or star gods.
Mhm.
Keep
Yeah.
repeating that.
Yeah, well, we know they've been around for several thousand years at the very least. So
Yeah, they've been on Midgard for at least 15 times.
yep. They old AF.
Super old. Anyway, I think we just jumped into the Asteria conversation. But what did you guys think when not Brooke, I want to say Brooke and Bryce. Like I just
We're the same person. We're not.
Yeah.
When Bryce walked into the secret archive room to see the charging ports, to like see the whole history of their conquerors.
Oh, the dusk room.
Yeah, the
That
dusk
wasn't even
room.
part of the plan. She just went off,
Damn it,
off
Bryce.
plan.
So did you see that part coming? Did you see parts of it coming?
No, not really. We were just like, hey, let's check out the archives, see what Sophie saw, then bounce. But this was interesting news to find out about the Asteri.
Yeah, I kept picturing them going into the archive, like, and pulling out a file drawer and like finding the piece of paper that said the Asteria are holograms, or like this is where
Or
they
like
came from.
orbs.
Yeah,
That.
because I think it was like I definitely surmised that they were a conquering force. Like they obviously have taken over Midgard, but did not realize the full extent of them creating Midgard, and also
Yeah.
did not expect them to be like eating First Light as a source. Like I knew something weird was happening with First Light and that it wasn't necessary because again, crossover. I knew that I was like, we got two other worlds that don't do this shit. So like this cannot be necessary. And but I didn't think they were using it as like their toaster strudels in the morning. It was weird.
Even the second light, when that
Yeah.
came out too, we didn't see that coming.
No.
We just thought, oh, souls, the afterlife, everyone's in peace. It's very very peaceful.
Everyone's surprised by the level of technology. I remember thinking about the scene and Bryce went in. I imagined it almost to be older. Like think of like this is gonna be a Harry like when Harry Potter went into like the old like history library, right? So I was imagining like old, dusty, like ancient things. The room that was I imagined in my mind that Bryce went into, it was like very high tech, especially with the little computers and the percentages. I'm just like, did she just jump a few hundred years? Like, because I didn't imagine that to be so like Apple E versus like old library E.
Yep. Yeah, same. It was cool. I loved it. I think it all comes full circle. It all checks out. It's amazing. I was just like, yes, I am down. Like, let's do it. And then like her kind of figuring out that that's the way to beat them too, is like if you take away their First Light, then they basically are DOA. So I liked that. I was like, okay, they are beatable. Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, I want to know how they're at like 60% when they never leave their castle. So I imagine that they just sit on their charging thrones all the time.
Yeah.
Why they couldn't make to the parties. Guess it makes sense. Didn't charge overnight.
Maybe they get like little portable batteries they can like wear around.
Just go around touching everybody. Oh, hi. Thank you so much for coming. That's their charge.
I don't know. The other thing about if they were born and not created, outside of like the fact that they're evil and like conquer and whatever, I feel like it could become like an ethical problem of if they were just like that, like if they just grew up like that is them, they need First Light to survive. Ethically, like they're doing what they can to get like sustain themselves. So if they didn't have all the conqueringness and all the like killing people that are dead for second light, would what they are doing be ethically okay?
Think there's any way that it's ethically all right because they just use
But like
other
that's what they
people
need to
as
do
food
to
sources.
survive.
Yeah, but still.
So
Have you ever
then they
watched
should just
Supernatural, Elena?
the first like however many seasons.
Yeah,
before
you
it got
only need to
bad.
watch one episode. As soon as something goes rogue and it starts killing for its own survival, you gotta put it down.
No, it's definitely gone too far. But if that's just how they are and they need that to survive, do they also have a right to live and set up a system where they can get what they need to live and like let everyone else live happily? Because like it seems like giving up that first light isn't negatively affecting the Fae that live on Midgard. It's all the other shady stuff that's happening in the background.
Yeah, I can't tell if them giving up their first light does negatively affect them because we were also talking about outside of this that there's sort of like a cap almost put on like immortal people's lives because they need them to die so they can turn them into second light. So like that's super wrong. And I just feel like there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And if there isn't, maybe we just don't have a Steri anymore, which doesn't sound bad to me.
I always thought it was so sketchy that not only when you, in order to do the drop, you need to sacrifice first light. And then also, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the first book, there was like, you know, there was the gates, but then you can also sacrifice some of your power or your light, and then you don't get it back. Like, I forgot what it was for, and I know Bryce did it. It was kind of like a wishing
You
well,
like make a wish,
right?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
wishing well.
And being able
Yeah.
to talk through the gates to other people, that was also part of
Like,
it.
I always thought that was so sketchy, like,
So weird.
and so icky.
But I
Like,
also-
why?
I don't know if they're draining the gates because there was a ton of power just sitting in the gates that seemed like it had been there from over the years that somehow the Asteri hadn't tapped into yet.
Yeah, I think that part's not clear about if they use that source as well, but I have to assume that they do to some extent.
Well, doesn't it like
don't know.
power up the city and stuff too?
Yeah.
The drops, which like leads you to think like how much first light are they harvesting? Like how much do they use for themselves? Like how much is going towards the city? Like would the city be able to survive without the first light? Like just on electricity? Why don't they use electricity like normal people?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the thing that I kept thinking. Again, like we can't really go into crossover too much, but like we have examples of worlds that don't require this as a source of anything. So why does it here? And it just seems like the Asteri have totally created this world that's just a big old first light buffet for themselves, and they didn't really care about the consequences.
Yeah.
Or
No, the Asteri have. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna ask, like, how are phones charged? That
I think
first
everything
light
is
too?
first light. Yeah.
Dang.
But they also have some electricity because Sophie like makes a reference to the fact that she can take up electricity and first light. But I don't think we ever get clear information on what is what.
What the difference is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's just something I've thought about, like, because if they were just like that, then as beings, it makes sense that they had to do something to sustain themselves. It's just they've definitely gone too far.
Yeah. I think I just don't care. Like I just want them dead. Like I don't there's no part of me that's like, I hope maybe we can find a way to like let the Asteri survive. It's like, nah, I'm ready to watch the ship burn.
No, I think it's just that's part of why I lean towards them having been made by someone else. Just
it's definitely a possibility. I think that's a really cool theory that they were created. And by whom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that we've all read all the books in a series and we can talk about this openly and honestly, and I don't have to wonder if you're making shit up so that I'll think something that isn't correct.
No, these are my real honest theories. Isn't it refreshing?
Like we're here. I love that. I don't have to wonder, like, is Elena trying to get me to think that because they're actually like bioluminescent organisms that, yeah.
No, this isn't me tricking you. This is like what
this is real, Elena.
and now I can talk about it.
Yeah.
I that kind of leads into one of the like talking about the Asteri. One of the other worlds they tried to conquer was Hell, which Bryce has been in contact with a lot of the princes. Were you shocked to find out that's why they keep trying to help? Like, did you get the connection there?
I was
I
not
personally
shocked.
was surprised. No,
No, go ahead, Fong.
I feel like I need to be a more of a deep reader because I think when I read, it's like, oh my god, this is happening, this is happening. The part of my brain is all invested in what's happening right now. What should be happening is, oh, this is happening, but what if something else could be there? Like, I needed to go off in tangents because that would make me think like I shouldn't have been surprised because he had his own story, yada yada yada. But now it all makes sense, and I'm like, I should have seen it coming, but I did not. So it was a surprise to me.
I'm like that too. Like I can be just in the present type of reader, like not trying to think too much ahead. Because sometimes when you think ahead, you might get disappointed that it didn't turn out the way you thought it would.
It's never happened to me before.
So I can't relate.
I think my problem is that I am like always looking ahead to stuff, and I don't miss like being in the moment as well. It's just that I usually read things twice, and I'm super slow.
It's okay. We're all very different readers, and I
Yeah,
like that we can still come together and share our thoughts and theories. Like it's always
yeah.
so fun. Like, oh, you noticed that? Oh, but this person didn't notice it or something. Like, but they noticed something else that the other person,
Mhm.
didn't.
Yeah, for the right or the wrong reasons, it's still unclear. I had decided that Hell was like the good guys. It just seemed like, they kept saying that they wanted to team up, like we're getting our armies ready, like come be part of us. And I was like, this is so clearly wrong that I think it's right. Like I think that these are actually the guys we're supposed to be trusting, and I didn't know why. I did not guess that they had already beaten the Asteri from conquering their own planet, but I trusted them um, for reasons that you guys keep telling me I was off base on, but we can go
It's just
back to
like
that at some other
but it's just
time.
like that they weren't very forthcoming. Like they
Yeah,
didn't tell Bryce that they've done it before or anything like that. It was just a little sus. Like we had to be sus.
yeah,
They were literally from hell.
yeah. Well, and then one of the Asteri is impersonating one of the princes of hell
Right.
through
I
most of
didn't see
this
that
book.
coming.
No, nope, not at all.
I
You
will
guys
say
made
now that I get to
me.
oh
Oh,
go
I'm so sorry.
no go you
I was just thinking about how I thought of Hell, the surprise with Hell, and I was thinking back to the Akatar series and how
Careful.
when we when we associate bad people with like the dark side, it doesn't always seem to be true.
Sarah
That's
is very
true.
Yes, Sarah is very good at not writing black and white people. Like there are a lot of people in the middle and nobody is perfect, and it's often hard to tell like who is good and who is bad because it's just, they've got motives and they're people or fae or
yeah.
shifters or other things.
Now that I can share my opinions without you immediately assuming I'm lying, I am still a little suspicious of the Princes of Hell. Like maybe not Adian as much as like some of the other ones, because sure they do have a reason to help. Like their hate for the Asteri is what's motivating them to help Midgard, but I just can't see it being that straightforward. I just feel like there has to be more to it that we don't see yet, and other motivations, like because they're not being so straightforward. They all the demons did come through and just kill tons of people, and I get that that was an accident, but
Yeah.
it, I just think there's going to be a twist there somehow. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah. No, I agree, Elena. Like we shouldn't trust them completely. I'm sure they have like some ulterior motive
hmm
that would benefit
Like they want,
them.
yeah, like they want the Midgard world because there's has been destroyed by the Asteri, something like that.
I think that's fair. Approach with caution.
Um, just squinty eyes at them.
Yep.
So one interesting thing you said last episode, and I don't remember who was Brooke or Jamie, but one of you guys was like, Hunt should have told Celestina what they were doing. Like, he should trust her. She was.
Guys, I am still
Surprising.
hurt. I mean, I felt like I was personally betrayed. I was just like, bitch, like, I thought you were cool. Like, I thought we were cool. I thought we understood each other. I thought we came to an agreement. Like, and she sold all of us. Like, I mean, I was there in that room. I don't know about you guys, but like, we were all sold out and it hurt.
Did you guys talk about why she might have done that, considering how much she told Hunt that he should trust her?
We haven't talked about the betrayal, but I think now is the time.
Mm.
What do you think?
It was very surprising, but like immediately after the surprising, I wasn't directly mad. I think I was more sad because Rigilis mentioned like she has more on the line personally in all that's happening, and it made me wonder what is on the line. I mean, like we all know that she has to produce offspring and that entire situation, but I'm like, was that enough for her to betray Hunt based off of what she said? I don't know. Like, what else is going on?
I think the implication is that she's protecting Hypaxia. Like, she'll do anything to keep on the Asteri's good side so as not to face repercussions for her secret relationship with Hypaxia that they definitely know about, is how I interpret it.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Fong. Like, there was part of me that while I was reading it, understood why, right? Like, Celestina is surviving. She is trying to keep the person that she loves most safe. She's trying to keep herself safe so that maybe there's some way that there can be a future for them. But yeah, it was painful. It just hurt. I kind of thought better of her, and I'm not like writing her off. Like, she's not dead to me, but it was hard. It was painful.
Yeah. I think for her, there was just like a line that she wasn't going to go over, even though she tried really hard, I think, to be a good, trustworthy governor to the Triari, who has had not a very good one, the last governor, as we all know. But yeah, it did hurt. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm kind of like not surprised because I was very suspicious and worried of her since she was first introduced because of the history of the governors of archangels altogether, really. Um, so even when like she punished Hunt in a not very severe way, like 2 weeks in the barracks, you had to stay there. Like even then, I was like, I knew she was gonna do something, even though it wasn't as bad.
Totally trusted her. I totally allowed myself to trust her. I was like, she seems so I think yeah, like looking back on it, I was definitely wrong, but I was like, she wanted to help Hunt in his past. She's with Hypaxia, who I love. So it's kind of like, well, like, she's my best friend's girlfriend, so like she's gotta be kind of cool, right? And yeah, I kind of wanted Hunt in that moment to be honest with her, and I don't know if that would have changed anything. Like if maybe that would have told her to be a better person, but yeah, just
Yeah, if
disappointed.
anything, I think if she had found out or he had told her, I don't think the Asteri would have like let her go or let it slide because that's who she's supposed to report to. They can use it against her.
Yeah.
I think it was better that for her safety and Hypaxia for not knowing.
Yeah, just a bummer.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting seeing how it plays out with her. in future books if she's like, because she is in a really tough spot in terms of deciding what to do. But I don't know. I never trusted her.
I would be
We don't
interested to
trust
see.
archangels.
Just always bad. I'd be interested
Get
to see
out.
Hypaxia's take on the whole thing, like if and when she figures out that Celestina sold them out. Which again, like Regulus knew they were coming anyway, so it would have happened no matter what. But it still doesn't make it okay. And I'm just wondering if Hypaxia is going to be like, they're my friends, and now we need to go save them. So you either need to like be better or walk away. Like I wonder if that will come down.
And I hope if she isn't willing to help get them out, because like I'm sure Hypaxia will be. I can't imagine a world in which Hypaxia isn't like on board with helping them. That Hypaxia is like, I'm better than that.
She needs to can I say it? Like unslave.
Oh, yes. We can talk about everything that happened at the end of the book. We just can't talk about why we were so excited about the last chapter.
Well, yeah, I mean, so if Hypaxia can get rid of Hunt's slavery tattoo, then I'm sure she can do it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a heart-wrenching scene.
I think the only reason it wasn't heart-wrenching for me is because in that moment, I know, Elena, I know this is a hot take, but it's because in that moment, them making Hunt back into a slave told me he wasn't going to die. No matter how much torture he goes through, he is not dying.
You see the silver lining.
Yes, I see the crown of thorns. There's a silver lining. I think that there's been way too many mentions about like Hunt being created and his lineage and him being able to track demons and his really cool lightning power. And I think it's just because he is an Asteri weapon and like now they have control over him again, which is awful. Like I'm not happy about it. But at the same time, the minute Regulus was like, let me put this tattoo back on, I was like, oh good, he's alive. Like he does not die in this book, thank God.
You saw it as relief.
Optimistic way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to find my silver lining somewhere. It was a rough end.
You're not
What if
wrong.
I throw a really far theory? Which is, if the Asteri are created and they're created Hunt and he can absorb like energy from lightning.
No. I resent that theory, Elena. He's not part Asteri.
I was gonna say, like, you think he's an Asteri? We all thought that, like, there was a line that Bryce was the 7th Asteri.
Yeah, I think we joked about that.
Like, what if? Because, like, why would she include that line like that?
What? Oh, Bryce being the 7th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree there's something with Hunt's lineage that they keep making reference to, and the Asteri definitely knows something about it, and that's why they don't kill him continually. But also, I don't think they're going to kill anyone that's in that last scene. Like, I don't think we're going to go into book 3 and have Rune be dead, or have...
It'd be awful!
Baxian be dead. Like, I think they're going to keep them all alive. And use some, like, oh, because we know Bryce will come back for you excuse.
Yep. For sure.
That we've seen in other books.
I still want Mordic and, what's his face? Pollux to die.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait for the Pollux death scene. It's going to be great.
The Pollux death scene. I think Mordic could come around, maybe. I mean, he's evil, but like, he was Danica's dad. Like, are we ever gonna get resolution on that, or is it just like Sabine?
Dad is like a very like endearing term. I would say he's sired.
Yeah, Elena. Basically, what you're saying is he had sex with Sabine once, and I don't put that in the pros column for him. Like anybody that is able to do that with Sabine is automatically someone that I'm not okay with.
Danica didn't even want anything to do with him.
In all honesty, I think Sabine's gonna have a redemption arc. I think it's gonna be one of those like she dies helping the cause situation.
I hope
Oh,
not.
she's
Like,
so awful.
She is. That's why it's gonna be like a she dies while doing it. But I think like she's not. She just really likes power and is kind of on the wrong side. But I think
That's
I could see
why.
her joining the rebellion.
No, that's why I don't think she would sacrifice herself because she likes power.
So she was already theoretically like sending people to go case the Mystic's place to kill her niece. So like I don't think she's coming back.
We don't know that's why whatever her name is was there.
Sure.
Emily.
Emily. Yeah. It seems pretty obvious, but that's true. It's not definite.
Well, whatever her name is, Mystic Wolf Girl is now free thanks to Ethan. So we have her.
Yeah.
She's part of the squad now.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Love that uncovering.
I'm hoping
Her
she doesn't go
storyline.
rogue, but yeah.
Oh, like the Dragon Girl?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Ariadne.
I
We
think
got a really
Dragon-
powerful friend. Just kidding.
I think she's gonna come in on the whole Therian plotline when Therian's super dragged up. She's gonna be like, "Don't love that. I'm gonna help." That's the theory.
Oh, does she end up with
Maybe it's already
Therian?
there in the bonus chapter. I'll screenshot it to y'all.
Yes.
We can't read it now. Later.
I'm so
We'll read it later.
excited.
Yeah. How? So at the end of like where we read last time, Therian had just promised himself to the Viper Queen, and we were not super happy with that. In this book, he runs away like a little word that rhymes with witch. And
I think I've said that
He's
3 times
only
in this
to die.
episode.
He had to go in the water. He forgot to submerge himself in the water before going on the secret spy mission. He was thirsty. A
Guys,
little like planet.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Like you sound like you hear how stupid that is, right? Like that was an easy thing that he could have taken care of. But what did that cause? It caused him to not see Cormac's death.
He watched him blow up in a fireball.
Just saying. Very convenient.
I don't know. I think Therian's gonna have a long way to go next book. He's already
I had such high hopes when he was first introduced, and I was starting to like how, oh, he has a POV in this book. Like, oh, I feel so sad for him. And then he did that blood oath, and I'm just like, Therian, dude, what are you doing, man?
I don't know. You guys were so pro Therian, and I had to like hold in my like noise every single time you were like, "I love him."
I have to say, I'm not
Pro Therian.
like,
He's going through some character development right now, guys.
yeah, I'm fun.
Yes,
I'm not anti-Therian. I'm disappointed in him right now.
Yes,
I feel like,
thank you. Yes.
yes, but I think we've all made mistakes in our life, and most of his mistakes come from one big mistake, which was I really want to bang the pretty girl. Yeah, I'll just tell her that I'm going to marry her so that we can like go to bed together. Like I can forgive him that past transgression, and now like he's just had a lot that he's had to do in order to get out of that. I still think that he could be a good person.
I just wish he had chosen a better way to get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm still very mad about the fact he didn't submerge himself before going on secret spy missions so that he could have saved Cormac.
Elena,
That's
it's because we
poor
needed
planning.
a plot device to get him out of the building so he didn't see what happened.
I do think there's something to be said if Cormac wasn't dead, because then he's eventually going to be the king of Addermar, and then Bryce is being set up to be the queen. Are you laughing at how I said it?
I thought that you said a name of a city from another book we can't talk about, and I got really confused.
No, what's it called?
Avalon?
Oh, the Avalon Fae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, oh, does Cormac have any more like siblings? Are there more cousins that we don't know about?
Yeah. No, it's because Bryce is gonna be queen of all the Fae. That was
That'd
their
be
whole
cool.
plan before Cormac died.
Did you support when Rune was like, Bryce, let's you be queen. We're gonna
Oh,
take out the
100%.
Autumn King.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah. I was like, that asshole's had it coming for a long time.
Counterpoint.
The
He's
daughter
been
he
looking-
never wanted or claimed. Yes.
Right.
He's been looking into the Asteri the whole time. So maybe
With
he's
his
just been
little
preoccupied.
planets?
Yeah, that's what he's been doing. Like, it's been clear, like, all of his energy has been going towards researching it, and it's, like, very clearly the Asteri. So, maybe he's gonna become an ally, a resource.
You think he's gonna come around like you've been saying?
Nope.
I think
Or
it's
that-
possible.
Elena, I know
Yeah.
that we've read all the books now and you don't have to lie to me anymore, but now I feel like you're just playing devil's advocate.
We still feel
just
like you're lying.
be angry.
Remember he abused Rune? Remember those scars Rune had to cover up? That the
Hear me
King
out.
did?
We discussed how there's a lot of depth to all of these characters, and my theory is that he was experimenting on Rune. Is that ethically
That
or
doesn't
morally
make
right?
it okay.
No. Is it ethically or morally right? No.
Remember
I
Ember
like
had to
him?
like
Also
run
no.
away because of him.
I think he could have. I think there's stuff going on in the background with him that could be helpful.
I'm just saying that we've had some shitty dads in other books that have tried to do a whole redemption arc. Didn't work for me. Not gonna work for me now. Not interested.
Rune is in the Asteri dungeons. Maybe have a change of heart and be like, my poor son,
No.
and try and save him.
No.
Has he ever done anything like that though? And it's been 2 books. I feel like the only thing he's tried to do was arrange marriage Bryce and Cormac together as a claim, in order to like protect her.
And Rune and Hypatia.
He wanted to make sure Bryce would be
No,
taken
I think
care
that
of
was a
if he
power
was-
move, Brooke.
But I'm just saying he has done nothing good. Like all he's done is bad. There's been not a single good thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, to show like love and support for his children. Nah, not much.
Nope. Not a single bit. Bye.
Okay, that was all my notes. Do you guys have any other things you want to talk about before we discuss crossover? Or would you like to play the game before we discuss crossover?
Does the game entail crossover?
No, it's just
Oh,
Marry Fuck Kill because we
first.
haven't done it in a while.
Oh,
The
I missed
characters have all
that.
grown.
Game first. And then we'll let our friends that haven't read other SJM novels sign off before we blow their minds with things they don't know about.
Okay. So in theme with what we were just discussing, Marry Fuck Kill the Autumn King, River Queen, or Under King.
Oh,
And remember how you were just arguing about how the Autumn King is the worst? So
he did give Rune's mom a good place to stay, like, so that she's like, oh, how have we not seen her yet? I want to meet Rune's mom.
She's just in her townhouse being crazy.
Being crazy.
Well, yeah, they talk about how she's like, I mean, I think she's basically like institutionalized. Oh no, we lost Fong.
Oh no, we lost Fong.
The Marry Fuck Kill was too much, and Fong was like, nope, I'm out.
I'm not gonna pick, so I'm just gonna bounce.
Yeah, no, I think it's said that she is like mentally ill. Like she's basically institutionalized in that house. I think
I must
because
have
of
missed
all of the
that.
emotional trauma that she went through from the Autumn King, because he has no redemption option.
no, I don't think it's going to be from the Autumn King. I think it's going to be something genetic because we know her line is somehow connected to other important lines.
Yeah. Fong's got internet problems. We'll see if she can rejoin us. I would. I'm gonna fuck the Under King, under the Bone Daddy. That's
Bone Daddy?
that's my
The
choice.
giant?
Yeah, well, because I was really excited about Spooky Santa, and there's still like maybe I could bring that out in him. So
Brooke
Just-
wants to unlock this kink.
yeah, so just for like a one-time thing, I'm going on the Bone Quarter. Yeah. Out of the other two, I think I would have to marry the River Queen, I guess. As long as I could leave being underneath occasionally. Hopefully that's like I could put that in like our prenup. And then I would kill the Autumn King.
I think I would do everything Brooke said, but switch River Queen and Autumn King. Because
That's what I was going back and forth on too.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know if I would. I mean, I don't trust either of them. But I feel like the River Queen would trap me, would be more likely to trap me. And then Autumn King would just maybe give me a credit card and I can just like run off.
Yeah, I think in the last time we played this, I married the Autumn King because I figured he'd leave
Yeah.
me alone.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, didn't his wife or his mate or something like live well off?
Autumn King doesn't have any mates. He doesn't feel.
Rue's mom.
That's so interesting because I feel like normally we say like the same things, like and you guys have a difference. And I would kill the Under King.
Nice. Can I have him first?
He
Why?
scares me.
Then can you kill him?
Yeah, you can have him first, then I'll
Okay.
kill him, then they'll all be dead.
Okay.
Yeah, I would kill the Under King because he scares me, not into scary Santa.
Yeah.
And I would marry the Autumn King because I think he would still just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I would hook up with the River Queen.
Nice. I like, though, out of all three of these, we're each killing one of them. So we all immediately get out of the marriages we just signed up for. So high five, guys.
Hopefully Fawn gets back on and we can ask her and she can know context. Like, no.
You cannot be
She won't be
influenced by
swayed.
our responses.
Worst case scenario, we'll post Fong's answers after this. We'll like get them. I'll just slap them in there so everybody knows.
I feel like can I just make a guess? I don't know who I don't know who she will marry or kill, but I think she would also want to fuck the Under King. She's like, maybe she'll be like, why not?
Spooky Santa.
Yeah.
That seems so creepy.
Yeah, that's the point, Elena. He's super creepy.
Be like, can I have some of that second light?
Yeah. Seems like it'd be a good time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Which way do I want to go from here? We'll just go like increasing in like slightly less ick until we get to the least ick. So the next one,
Ick level.
and this one isn't ick, it's just people we're a little bit upset with.
Oh.
Juniper, Fury, or Danica?
Oh, I think Well, this would be actually be a little tough.
I would marry Fury. Because if we're being honest, I got a crush on her. And she seems like she's a great partner. Like she is very good to June, like protective of her, supportive, just like seems like she is over the moon in love with her. So I feel like she would probably be a good partner for life. I would fuck Danica because it seems like that would be one wild ride. And then I would kill June because I'm still upset with her.
You said kill June?
Yeah.
I think I would marry Danica. So I think I could have a really good, fun life with her.
But how much would she lie to you?
We would still have a good time.
What I don't know doesn't hurt me.
Need honesty in this relationship.
All that mirth root. I think I would fuck Fury. Seems like a good time too. I feel like she would be like a cuddler after, or like she would spoon me. I like the idea of that. And then I would kill June.
June's dying.
Sorry, June.
I don't know
grudges
if I was
over here.
killing. I don't know if I would kill June or Danica. I agree with Brooke's entire analysis about marrying Fury. I think she would be a great partner that would be super protective and great. To be honest, I just don't care whether I hook up with Juniper or Danica because I think they both have their flaws.
Yeah. But if you had to murder one of them in cold blood, which one would it be?
Maybe Danica because she's already dead.
That's a cop-out.
Yeah.
If they were both alive, I think I would kill Juniper because she's just more
3 for 3 for June.
Sorry, June. Not sorry.
Okay. Marry, fuck, kill. Cormac.
That's easy.
Saxon.
Still easy.
You didn't even hear the rest.
Let's see if it gets harder.
Saxion, Therian.
Still easy.
No!
Yes.
No! Absolutely not! I do not accept.
So you thought that if you put Cormac and Therian in the same place, I might consider not killing Cormac? Was that your...
What about Baxian?
Oh, I love Baxian. I've loved him this whole time.
I think I figured it out. Marry Baxian. Fuck Cormac. Kill Therian.
Mine would only switch the last two. I would also marry Baxian. He seems amazing. I would fuck Therian because unless he's like totally lying and that charisma is coming from literally nowhere, I think he probably has some skills.
What if he's all talk?
Well, right. I realize that I could be making an awful mistake, but I'm also totally okay with killing Cormac, so it's fine if I am.
Again? For real
Elena,
this time?
need I remind you about the knife scene? That did it for me. Like, I was already on the fence, and then he held
got
a knife to my girl's throat.
Taken off for that.
Yeah.
It was so dramatic, a little bit overboard. Like, was that really necessary? I know you're trying to get information, but like, come on.
No, sorry, buddy.
No. Also, hasn't Therian not hooked up with anyone but the River Queen's daughter for like 100 years?
Yeah,
like, hasn't he not been? But he hasn't been able to hook up with anyone and has been actively avoiding hooking up with the River Queen's daughter.
Right.
I don't know if that's true. Like, I think he's still been sleeping around.
I actually think Elena's right because there was the whole thing with like, okay, I'm going to not be with her. Now I'm going to go have sex with that random leopard shifter.
I thought that was just in the moment at the ball. Like, hey, I'm going to leave her here and I'm going to go.
I think that was him putting an end to his 10-year dry spell, personally. But
really?
He talks a big game.
Yeah.
And I think
you think that he hasn't like slept with anyone else for 10 years?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it's one of those things where like their smell is like their sense of smell is so good that if he hooked up with someone, like people would immediately know.
That distinct fish smell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fong is unfortunately unable to come back.
Fong's like being responsible and doing adult things.
Yes, being very responsible.
Yeah.
We'll still send her the things and get her responses.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get her feedback.
Yeah, so for this, I am marrying Cormac. I've been like thinking about it while you guys have been talking. I might just have an asshole kink, but it's fine.
Everybody's
Go
got
on.
something.
Yeah. Go on, Elena.
So you love Cormac.
He's such a sweetie.
I could have told you you were marrying Cormac, and you're gonna kill Tharian, and you're gonna fuck
Yeah,
Baxi.
100%.
Yeah, I know you.
It's like an easy choice.
Yeah. I mean, for you it is. And I knew that.
Interesting. I feel like we're all making very different decisions throughout.
I think so,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we made
No.
No. Okay, last one. Marry, fuck, kill. Hunt, Rune, or Ethan.
This is the hardest
oh no.
Remember when we answered almost this exact same one in the first book and it was much easier?
Yeah.
It's not easy anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember our answers? What was our answers?
Well,
I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
Ethan.
It wasn't. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Ethan, and you guys were like, immediately kill Ethan. I was like, no, I love Ethan. And you were like, what? And I was like, never mind. We don't love
Oh,
him.
you're right. I forgot. My brain immediately went to which one am I going to have a one-night stand with and which one am I going to spend my life with? And I forgot that I have to kill one, and it's still definitely Ethan. Like, sorry, Ethan.
I agree with Brooke. I think
Yeah.
I would have to kill Ethan. But then the hard choice would be, who do I want to be as my one-time lover and then marry forever? Who I also get to fuck all the time.
Guys, I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go opposite from Brooke from like 2 months ago.
I think I know what an answer, and we're going to have the same one.
I'm going to marry Rune and I'm going to fuck Hunt once.
Yes! Me too.
And I love Hunt. I love
Yes.
Hunt. So, like, if
I
I was
do.
thinking about, like, who do I want to have for the rest of my life? And I was like, I want that day-night action.
He'll
Meet me
take
on the
care
Mind
of
Bridge.
you.
Yeah.
Where you could have like fun, kinky, like zappy zap sex with Hunt.
Like once. Like one
Yeah.
really good story to tell for the rest of my life. But yeah,
Give
I
me
want
that.
Rune forever.
Give me that biodome. Like he's ready to just kill everyone. Give me that
Biodome.
intensity.
Library, doesn't matter. Just
Oh my god, yeah, they were actually both really good. Both scenes.
those were my top
I'm-
two.
I'm genuinely considering killing Hunt.
Elena, I hate you so much. How long am I gonna have to hear from you? Like for the next 2 years, you're just gonna be telling me about how Hunt and Bryce aren't gonna end up together.
Ethan, I feel like, has like the most like character development to go. Like he still has some more development to do, whereas Hunt is a little more established. Rune is as well, but he just needs to figure out what he wants to do with Agent Day.
Yeah. I'm on board with you guys for marrying Rune. Like that, I feel like that's not a question. But I don't know.
This is the hardest one. It's hard when you
Yeah,
got 3
it
really
really-
good options.
Yeah.
Because I love Ethan. Like, I don't want to kill Ethan, but out of the 3 of them, it's an easy choice for me.
Same.
Here, my honest thought is I like Ethan more, but I think Hunt would be the better hookup. Like I think it would be a better time.
Yeah. If you're gonna marry Rune,
why do you think Brooke and I chose him to do a one night stand with?
Yeah.
Ethan would also be a good time.
Sure, but if
He's
you're
not as
ranking
good.
them, if we're ranking good times,
I also need to see Ethan
have a good time.
Yes, thank you, Brooke.
Yes. I would like to see his application.
Does he growl? Like what?
Oh,
is he ripping?
growls.
Is he ripping things?
My biggest question is, does he stay in his human form? Guessing? No, he doesn't.
Ew. Okay.
And Elena has made her choice.
That changes. Does that change things?
Yeah, that changes things in an ick way.
Clearly, we will not be reading any monster smut on this bookcast.
Elena.
I guess I'm killing Ethan, and I'm sad about it. But
Yeah, it's hard. But in the end, you have to kill Ethan.
I just want everyone to know how close I was to killing Hunt, and it was close.
Yeah. Yeah. You should let him know that after your one night hookup. Don't tell him before.
Yeah.
Might be awkward.
No. Yeah, that would be awkward.
That was the first one that we all agreed on.
That was the first one that we all agreed on, although I want to
I'm
say
so
it was
proud of us.
begrudgingly.
We're all such good friends and we would all pick the same men for the same reasons. This is great.
I love that for us.
Luckily, we're already in loving, committed relationships where this won't matter at all in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, my boyfriend's planning on watching these at some point, and he's the nicest person alive, so I don't know how he's going to react to me saying I have an asshole kink.
Maybe it's something he needs to realize about himself.
Maybe he could roleplay.
That being said, is it time to finally talk about the last chapter? Like, quickly, but like, should we warn everyone?
Yeah,
Elena's
we
having
should
a
warn
moment.
everyone.
Sorry, Elena. She can't even think now.
We won't tell him. It's all right. You're fine.
Never mind.
So yeah. No, go ahead, Elena.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah, we should talk about the crossover episode. RIP that phone can't be here.
Yeah. So, like, for those of you that have only read these books, I mean, should we talk about it in a can we even talk about that chapter without our knowledge? It's just not possible. So
No,
everybody,
I don't think so.
Stop listening right now if you haven't read all of A Court of Thorns and Roses and all of the, like, to the end of the Crescent City novel. We're not going to talk about Throne of Glass still, because we said at the beginning of the episode we wouldn't.
I mean,
but know that we have thoughts.
I could go back on that now.
But we haven't finished it. And I feel like there's still
That's true.
Things up in the air that I feel like once we finish it, we can come up with better concrete theories for this.
Jamie knows something.
Jamie knows something.
I really don't. I swear, I really don't.
I think it's safe to say if these are the only books you have read, like, you've now realized that there is crossover between at least 2, if not 3, of Sarah J. Maas's series. We don't want to ruin anything for you because they're really good, and that would be a bummer. So turn this off, go read some books, come watch our other episodes, and we will be doing a full ACOTAR reread with no holds barred spoilers. Like, spoilers will be rampant, where we will discuss crossover in all 3 of the series, which I'm super pumped for, and I hope you'll join us. But yeah, we're gonna go geek out. So this is for only people that have read ACOTAR.
I have a question about our no holds barred ACOTAR reread. Like, while we read it,
can the Crescent City only people hear this, or should we tell them to? Yeah, all right, bye guys. We're gonna talk about ACOTAR now.
Never mind. Okay, I'll ask about the ACOTAR reread. Just no.
We're in it now. We're in it now. We're here. Ask about the ACOTAR reread.
Like, say there's a big thing that happens in book 1, like at the end, like when we're reading the beginning of book 1. Can we be like, like in preemptiveness, or like do we have to pretend we don't know about what happens in later ACOTAR books?
No. When we do the ACOTAR reread, we will be discussing it having read the whole series and also all of her other novels.
Okay.
It will be,
I didn't know if it was just like we have read her other novels and we'll make reference to those, but not to what happens later in the ACOTAR books.
It's a full reread where we can discuss any book.
No holding back.
Yeah, no holds. We can discuss any book or any bonus chapter that Sarah J. Maas has written ever.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Up to 2022.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't left yet, Bye.
Hi.
Join us, Ekatar folks.
So just initial thoughts on the last chapter.
My note. Do you want me to read my note? The note that I
Please
wrote.
do.
The note that I wrote for this chapter was, "My whole life comes back together." I want to hear from you guys' point of view first, because I know that there were different points at which you realized where Bryce had ended up. Which one of you took longer? All right, so Elena, where was it that you realized that we were in Valaris?
The lady with the strange arm tattoos walks in.
Who's got strange arm tattoos? Wait a minute.
It's like, wait, no. And then I kept reading, and then like the last line, I was like, yes.
Wait, I know that guy in those eyes. I know him. I dream about that.
Or not about like the tiny little lady with like the short black hair.
No, absolutely not. I'm telling you, I didn't read these books not thinking there was crossover, like not thinking anything of it. Like the idea that they could, like, I understood that like this book was talking about worlds overlapping, but like I don't think it's a super huge thing in Akatar.
Yeah.
It's more of a thing in Throne of Glass, but even still, like just that idea.
So,
Yeah,
Elena, talk me through it. Like, what was going through your mind? Did you think that she was in hell?
I don't think I thought she was in hell. I think I was reading it and it was like, oh yeah, that's weird. That's not how they described hell. I don't know what's going on. Like, oh no, she's not gonna be able to communicate with them. Like, she's in a new place. Like, I think I was trying to figure out. Like, my brain was like,
Yeah. Yeah, and what about you, Jamie? Where was it that you realized?
I don't remember any descriptions about hell, so I was kind of going in just being like, just very open-minded. So when she hits the grass, I'm just like, oh, there's grass in hell. Okay, cool. And then I think it hit me when Bryce runs into a demon. But the way this character was described was very like familiar.
Everyone's favorite demon.
Right. So it starts with like the leather wings, the armor, the hazel eyes, and then finally the scarred hands. And I'm just like, wow, what checks off for this character? And I immediately thought Azrael. And I'm just like, whoa. Could this really be him? Like, I just couldn't comprehend. Like, Elena, like, I also felt the same way where we didn't think like anything like this could be possible. We have never read a series like this before. So yeah, I think like being in Valaris and then when they go into the foyer, like that's when it all really hit me that this is definitely Azrael and we're in Valaris.
Yeah, the tears started coming for me the minute that it said that she hit the grass, because I knew that all of my theories were confirmed. And even though I thought Amryn was going to be opening a portal to come talk to Bryce at the end of this book, it ended up being the other way around.
And I'm just looking at you like you're crazy.
I know, and I don't think that I ever actually accidentally said that in one of these episodes, because you can't actually say Amryn up until now. But yeah, I knew she was going to Valaris, or I guess like I hoped she was going to Valaris the minute that we realized that she was going to open the portal to hell. I knew she wasn't going there, and I was just like, this is it. This is the scene I've been waiting for forever. So when she landed on the grass, I immediately was just like, oh my god. And then it was when it was like the turquoise river and the lawn, like a manicured lawn, and also a city, and I was just like, we're home, guys. We made it. So it was great.
I'm trying to like get to your text because you were like, do we need to be on a call? What?
Well, it's because I knew it in the first sentence, and that's why I was like, oh shit, we're here. Like, should we be doing this live instead of like me just reading and like slowly crying? And yeah. I'm glad that we weren't, though, because like I didn't I was so sure of it that I'm glad that we weren't, because like I love that you had that long, Jamie, to be like, hell has grass and a river, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Could not
yeah,
comprehend. Like I was just like, what the F is going on? And I'm sure
yeah,
Elena did too the first time she read this.
right. And I think for me, it's just that no matter how much gaslighting occurred over the last few months, like
Unintentional
unintentional
gaslighting.
gaslighting and intentional gaslighting. The minute that I saw those books, I just knew that Sarah was too good of a writer to put them in there for no reason. And like the crossover, like everything kept building where it was very clear that like these worlds are connected.
But you see how like that was just like a very like little clue, where this one, the last chapter was just like
Well, right.
explosion in your face. Like there's no denying. You can't deny that there is no
No.
crossover.
And no, there's no pretending anymore. Like this was definitely Sarah finally being like, okay, guys, like my worlds are all connected.
I'm gonna make you shit your pants. Watch out.
And that's why, yeah, we don't have to discuss Throne of Glass for sure. And I think that, like you said, Jamie, like we still have a couple books to read, so we don't even know everything that we're talking about there. But I will say that, like, since we've learned that the Asteri have been to multiple different worlds, conquered or attempted to conquer multiple worlds, and because both of those books were in that library, I am still 100% sure that both of these worlds were what the Asteri used to populate Midgard, and that's now where we have to like try to figure out how
Yeah,
everything
that makes a lot of
combines.
sense. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's so mind-blowing. Like,
Yeah.
wow, bravo.
Really though, and I mean, like, we were all talking separately from this because there was no way that we haven't discussed this multiple times until now, because if we hadn't, literally the three of us would just be screaming, right, like just talking over each other.
Like
So
shaking, we got chills.
yeah,
We're like, and then the very last sentence, like, are you kidding me?
yeah,
Hyperventilating.
we wanted to be a little more put together when we actually discussed this with all of you. But something that I told you guys is that like Sarah is such a masterful writer to be able to have pulled all of this off, and I hope like to continue creating it in a way that is stunning. But like I was well trained for reading a similar author that I think we will dive into at some point, that sort of trained me in the world of interconnected series. So no, I think it's awesome that it was a total surprise, for I think most people that read it.
Did not see it
I'm just
coming.
I'm so glad you guys are here and I don't have to lie anymore.
We arrived.
Because we didn't record it, but the first book we all read together was Silver Flames. So
Was
they were like just going about like how much they love Silver Flames, and I was sitting there like in tears because there were like references to like Crescent City and the fact this happens, and I'm not good at keeping secrets, so like sitting there and just
you did a
You did
really good
pretty
job.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had no
You
idea.
never let on once. Like it was very clear. It is very clear that like something is going on in the background of Silver Flames. But having not read any of this yet,
Yeah.
having not read
It
any of Throne
didn't
of
click.
Glass, never occurred to me that these series were connected so heavily. But now looking back on it, I cannot wait for our reread. It'll be great.
yeah. Brooke and Jamie like finished reading this chapter, and I immediately sent them like 10 screenshots that I had pre-taken flames when we read it, just
Yeah,
about the history. And it's so
Very,
interesting
very
because like
eye-opening. Like it's one of those lines that you just like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll save it for later, not thinking that they could be connected.
yep. And you can't possibly keep it all in your brain. Like, even though I'm like
Right.
keeping track of as much of it as I can, there's still things that I'm like, oh my God, like, how did I forget about that thing? And there's just too much to talk about at the end of this episode. Like, it warrants a whole reread, which we will do through ACOTAR, since that's definitely the series that Crescent City is now most closely linked with, since they're now in the same world. So I think that
And
it's going to be
confirmed.
right, like 100% confirmed. So it's exciting to see where that actual physical crossover is going to go as well.
Should we cover like the big ones, like the fact that Rune is definitely somehow related to Reese? Like, there's no way they're not related.
I mean, I think that's like the biggest thing, right? Is that the things we've confirmed, and it's confirmed for me that one of the two worlds that the Asteri opened up was also Throne of Glass. But it seems like for sure, at least one of the worlds is where Akatar is, and yeah, that like a lot of the characters that we have in Crescent City are distantly related to the characters that we have in Akatar from like generations back, since this happened 15,000 years ago. Right, the portal's opening.
Yeah, it was 15,000 years. It's
Yeah.
like a year that randomly comes up like once or twice in Crescent City, once or twice in Silver Flame.
Yep. Yeah. So it's awesome because I know we've joked in multiple episodes across both of these series about like we're assembling the Avengers, but now it's like Avengers Team B is assembling with Avengers Team A, like Super Avengers. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're related. The sword is the same, like referenced in both
There's
book
so
series.
much. There's so much. Yeah. It's literally impossible to dive into all of it. And that's why I think it's
So
going to
much
be,
history.
yeah, it's going to be really cool to go through Akatar and finally know everything from all three of the series and track it and come up with theories, which I hope everybody will join us for because it's going to be a really fun time.
So fun.
Yeah. Did you guys have any other thoughts about like the end crossover that you need to just like get out of your system now?
I just had a thought, but I can't say it right now, so I'm just gonna put a pin on it until we hang up.
Is it too Throne of Glass related? Yeah.
Throne of Glass related.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some crossover. And I mean, like, again, we could be wrong for both of the series with Crescent City. But yeah, it'll be really cool to track and talk about in a very open and honest way with everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still making it through Throne of Glass. So if you're still following along with us on that series, come join us over there. And we'll announce when we're going to do our big Akatar reread, and then get your copies, get your colored pencils, get your sticky tabs, whatever you do, your ebooks, get that, virtual highlighter tool ready, and we'll tear it all apart. But yeah, this book was
Hi
amazing.
everyone.
I loved
Yeah,
this.
so
So thanks
good.
for joining us, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.